Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only.
Hey guys, Jacob here. It is March 17, 2020, and this is going to be this week's weekly vendor reset. I didn't do last week's due to the fact that a lot of you guys were grinding for gear, and I was as well trying to get to level 40, but I am doing this week's. Today at the front desk, he's selling an MP5 Navy with crit damage, crit chance, SMG damage, and Ranger. This one's actually pretty low, but if you're looking for an MP5, you could pick this up. ACR with saw rifle damage, health damage, optimal range, and Vindictive. If you guys need Vindictive, you can always roll this talent onto something else. Status, which has stability and pistol damage. If you're looking for a pistol, then you obviously could use this, but you guys could probably craft one and actually make a better one. Fenris Backpack, this one's not too bad. It does have crit damage on it. You can change the weapon handling to something like crit chance and have an offensive mod, which is crit damage on there with concussion, which is not too bad if you guys are trying to use a AR slash marksman rifle style build. If you're trying to use an assault rifle, or if you're like secondary as a nemesis, you could probably use this pretty well. Alp Summit with status effect, crit damage, and protect reload with skill tier, which all these have skill tier if they're a utility style brand set. This one is actually not that great, so I'd recommend hunting in the Alp Summit section to find a better chest piece. Offensive System mod, which is 4.2 headshot damage, which is pretty low. Graphite Battery, which is 5.4 deflect duration. And the purple, which is burn damage, the improved sticky payload, which is 5.4 damage. So if you guys are trying to make a sticky bomb build and you can't really find any damage, I would just pick this up. That way you have something to use in the meantime until you find a new one. That's going to be it for the front desk vendor. As a reminder, I upload pretty much daily Division 2 content, so if you guys are new, make sure you subscribe because I'm uploading all the time. Also, you may not be able to get in here if you guys are new players, so make sure you guys join a clan so you can access this vendor. If you guys get in here, this is the clan vendor. Today, he is selling the Fox's Prayer Kneepads, which I've actually been looking for the past few days, so I'm going to pick these up. But these have damage to targets out of cover. It's skill damage and weapon damage. So if you guys do not have these, I'd highly recommend picking these up because that damage to cover, targets out of cover is actually very useful in stuff like legendary missions, PvP and stuff like that. But if you guys are trying to do legendaries in heroics, I'd highly recommend using these knee pads with a rifle. Next is going to be the Striker Backpack, which has 12.8 weapon damage and explosive resistance. So if you guys are looking for a Striker Backpack and you don't have one, I'd highly recommend picking this up or farming the gear set loot allocation area. Negotiator Sambar Gloves, which have crit damage and weapon damage. I'd highly recommend picking these up as well if you guys are trying to make a Negotiator style build, because these are pretty decent gloves. True Patriot Holster with 120,000 armor with 8.4 status effects. M16A2 with Reformation, magazine size, crit damage, and rifle damage. Military MK46 with LMG damage, damage targets out of cover, and damage to armor. This LMG is not too bad, but you guys could probably find a better one. But if you want to just find one to use in the meantime, you could pick this up and use it. Tactical SBR Vector with fast hands, accurate crit chance, and SMG damage. 6.716 magazine size, crit damage, rifle damage, and fast hands. M700 Carbon. This one's actually not too bad if you guys are looking for a sniper. The headshot damage isn't too high and the rifle damage isn't too high, but it has some decent damage to armor. So if you guys want to change fast hands to something like Ranger or First Blood to whatever you're liking, you could do so and use this gun in the meantime until you guys get a max rifle damage, headshot damage, stuff like that. Roddy Holy's knee pads with hazard protection, explosive resistance, and weapon damage. Murakami Industries with overclock, explosive resistance, headshot damage, skill tier, and a utility slot. So if you guys are looking for overclock, I'd highly recommend picking this up so you can use this on a skill build on your backpack. Defense Protocol Resilience with 11% protection from elites. So if you're looking for protection from elites and stuff like the legendary missions or the raid, then you can throw this on your build and get a little bit more protection. Feed Strip, which is 5.3% heals for the Chem Launcher. Internal Storage, which is the stim charges. And the Weather Coating, which is the duration for the turret. But that's been about it for the first two vendors at the base of ops. Alright, next up we have the Theater Settlements. He's selling an 870 Express, which is the purple. Unless you guys need a talent to roll off this, I would not recommend looking at these and using them as a primary. But he's selling M1A with rate of fire, boomerang, rifle damage, and crit damage. You could make this work if you guys are actually trying to use a rifle, but I'd highly recommend the normal M1A. But Boomerang, if you guys are trying to make a rifle style build, I'd recommend picking that up and throwing it onto your gun if you want it. Richter and Kaiser Gloves with skill tier, headshot damage, and weapon handling. Douglas and Harding with weapon damage, health, and headshot damage. Defense System Mending, which is protection from elites. Mini Electric Motor, which is skill haste for the freaking Seeker Mine. I can't speak today. This is the holster regeneration for the shield. And then you have the stuff like the decoy. If you guys are just looking for mods and you don't have any, then you can obviously pick these up and use them if you guys are new. And it's going to be it for the theater settlement. Alright guys, the next location is going to be the campus settlement, and she is selling a covert SRS with marksman rifle damage, headshot damage, damage to targets out of cover, and steady-handed. Black market M60 with health damage, strain, damage to targets out of cover, and LMG damage. China Light Mask with headshot damage, armor regeneration, and skill tier. A purple holster, which you guys probably don't really care about. Utility system for repair skill, which is actually really low. You guys can find way better ones of these than this in the open world or in the DZ. This is the peptide for the burn strength, so if you guys are looking for that for the chem launcher, I'd recommend picking this up. And the extra payload for the stim efficiency for the hive. Atmospheric analyzer, which is the duration for the pulse, and the trap electronics upgrade, which is the blast radius for the shock trap. And that's going to be it for the campus settlement. Next up, we have the dark zones. We're going to be starting at Dark Zone West as normal, as you guys know. If you guys are new, you guys will need a different resource to buy these materials, just letting you guys know now, and you guys can get these from the Dark Zone to be able to buy stuff from these vendors. But today, he is selling a classic M1A with Prepitation, headshot damage, crit damage, and rifle damage. So this one's actually not too bad, but it's not the greatest if you're looking for an M1A. If you're looking for one, I probably would not recommend spending the resources on this unless you have tons of resources in your stash box saved up, and you could buy it. But you might be better off farming in the loot allocation area for rifles. Tip Spirit Gloves with weapon damage and armor generation. Aces and Kneepads with 6.5 weapon damage and health. And the rest of the stuff is pretty much purple, except the damage bonus per enemy, which is for the shield, and the health for the decoy. You guys can see these other purple ones if you guys are curious what they are, the rolls on them. But that's going to be it for DZ West. Next up, we have DZ South, which you guys can see right here. For some reason, it's not printed on the side of the base, but you guys can see this is DZ South is showing you now. She's selling an AUG A3 with optimal range, health damage, rifle damage, and ignited. Hardware backpack with skill haste, skill tier. So if you guys are looking for a backpack, you can always change the skill haste to something max and make this work. So if you guys don't have this, I'd recommend picking it up. Explosive resistance on the roll on the chest piece for hardwire, and you can change that as well. So if you guys are looking for 2 pieces of hardwire, then you can go ahead and pick these up. That way you guys don't have to farm for them anymore. Badger Tough Backpack with 69,000 armor, skill haste, armor regeneration, and calculated. Yalgear Vest with skill haste, stats effect, armor, and an empty mod slot with skilled. Vince Protocol with headshot damage, additional ordnance for the damage for the drone, lubrication gel for the damage for the turret, and improvised sticky launcher for the blast radius for the sticky bomb. And that's going to be it for DZ South. Alright, next up we have DZ East. And today she is selling Ace and Eight's Mask with weapon damage and crit chance, Drew Patriot Holster with armor and skill haste, Gold Gear Mask with armor, crit chance, and skill damage. This one's actually pretty low. And she's selling a few purples. Battery backpack for health for the hive, and more upgrades for the shock trap. And that's going to be it for DC. Next up are the New York vendors. Alright guys, this is going to be the vendor in New York. Today he is selling an Alps Summit backpack, repair skill, health, unstoppable force. So if you guys are trying to find a backpack that's Alps Summit, this one's not too bad. It's not the greatest either, but if you need one, you could pick it up. Sambar Gloves with repair skill, crit chance with weapon damage. D&H holster with weapon damage, skill damage, and hazard protection. And you guys can see some of the purples he's selling if you need them. Exploded blueprint for the pulse, which is 11.4 health. And the decoy projector internals, which is for the duration for the decoy. The clan vendor is down there, but the clan vendors are shared, so I will not be showing that vendor because they are selling these same items. But if you guys walk out here and take a right around this corner, you guys can actually go up to Captain Benitez right here. There's also a dog there as well, but you can buy or sell stuff from him. He's selling MPX with reformation, crit chance, SMG damage, and reload speed. Urban MDR with lucky shot, reload speed, crit damage, and rifle damage. 511 chest piece, wounded trench, stats effects, health, and armor. Heal Gloves with 87,000 armor, weapon handling, and repair skill. And you guys can see the rest of this stuff if you guys are curious what it is. 4.9 heal for the Kim launcher, and the rest of the stuff is purple. But that's about it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for daily Division 2 content, and I'll catch you guys all later.
BT!